analyze such kind of data. So that's why we have to go with the Fox. So Fox will summarize the data, and it will send to cloud. So unnecessary data will not jump on a cloud.
Our session
So
number
it is what
5
the additional
is
layer
based
in
on the
this
topic
system.
IoT
Okay.
security issues,
So
IoT
quite
security,
we explained the
trust
theme
IoT,
diagram where we
and
have
personal
to
data
understand
protection.
the more details of
It
these
is
three
conducted
layers
by
where
our
we have
eminent
to go with
resource
the
person,
access
Mr. Ritesh
network
Kumar,
layer.
sir.
Like first lower layer,
We had
as I
already a
explained
session
that
with the sir
is the type
yesterday.
of telecommunication network
So, sir is
that
our
connected
technical
to
head
end
in
user
Ducat,
to
India,
their
Noida.
server provider. It is the part
Sir,
of
I
the
request
network
you
that
to
provides
start with the
the
session.
last mile. That means
Thank
connectivity
you,
between
ma'am. And
consumer and the service
good morning,
provider
everyone.
infrastructure. We have to understand
I'm going
the
to start
number of sensors
this
and
session
actuators
with
and controllers we are using in
yes,
this block,
good morning.
where
So we are going
home
to
kind of
start this session
devices like
as
embedded devices can use
the
the
topic name
simple
is
microcontroller boards,
IoT
compact, low
security
energy,
issues,
low
right?
efficient kind of boards. But
Privacy
in the
issues and
industry where
trust
we have
issues.
to use
There are lots of issues in
IIoT kind
IoTs.
of PLC,
First of all,
SCADA,
I'm
and long range
compiling
kind
the
of devices.
yesterday
So there are two different
topics,
domains
what we
where we
have
use
done yesterday,
consumer
and what
electronics and
kind of
industrial electronics.
things
So
we have done
main
yesterday, and
point
what
is
we
in
have
that
understood
physical
about
layer
that.
we are using
Right. So
some
I'm
edge kind
compiling
of
yesterday
devices
topic, and then we
where
start this
sensors,
security
actuators,
issues.
and maybe control devices,
So
smart
let's start
devices
here.
are the
I think
playing key role in
the
that domain.
screen
So
is visible
we
to all
have
of
to
you.
understand this
Yes,
access
visible.
network layer, which is we can
Okay.
call it a physical layer.
So
So
starting from yesterday,
the next parameter
so what we
we
have done,
understand
we
the
have done
uh,
the
second
IoT
layer. We called
introduction,
it
where we have
wireless
seen that
access
any of
network are
the
the type
things
of telecommunication network that use
which
radio
is
waves to provide
in low
connectivity
level
between
devices
end user
like
and their service
your
provider.
home
They can
appliances,
provide
your office
access to
appliances,
various
right?
kind of
And
services, include
your
voice, telephonic,
daily
internet
routines,
access, and terminal
handhelds,
media.
right? So
So
anything
these
can
were
have some
also
data,
involved with the some
and
wireless
that
network
data
like Wi-Fi.
is
The diagram
basically
shows that
have
the
some
range
that
of
data is coming from any
wide range
sensors,
of the
right?
sensors
So
and their
you have
protocol.
to
We
implant
have
all the
to know about
sensors
the
to the all of the
basic
devices you
internal
want to take the
small
data from
range
there.
that we use
So for that,
for Bluetooth,
we need
BLE
to apply
devices,
an
Wi-Fi
embedded
devices,
system,
and
right? So there is a
cellular
term
network
which is
devices.
called an
Wi-Fi
embedded
is
system.
a wireless technology that uses radio waves to provide high speed and internet. Then
It
cellular
is used
network
to
provides radio
take
waves
the
to
data
provide
from the
wireless network
sensors
over 2G,
to an
3G, and
electronic
4G.
device mediums
Nowadays,
like
we are going to
any
install
microcontroller
5G.
device or any
So due
microprocessor
to
device.
5G, there are
So
faster connectivity
embedded
between
system
the
is a
low end
base
devices
form of
and the
IoT,
cloud
right?
end devices.
So
So
embedded
we
system
can
is made of
overcome the
microcontroller or
bandwidth problems
microprocessor
which
based
we are
device,
facing in the 2D,
which
2G,
takes the
3G,
data
and
from the
4G.
external environment
So
for the
next we can go for the
user needs, for the
like
user requirements, and then
satellite
that
networks. So
is to
satellite
be
networks and the orbital satellite to
connected
provide
with
wireless access again to
some
wise kind of data service. They provide over
cloud
often use of
system,
remote or a
right?
rural area where type of
So
access
this will
network are not
take your data
available.
from the sensors. Here is
So
the sensors, which
where
is
we are not
which
covered
could
with
be
the
there,
GPS and
right?
cellular network area, so satellite network is very important to connect with those area. So
And
it's very important aspects to understand with the satellite network. So next is we have to understand the network topologies. What are the network topologies coming in the
we
network
take the
layer?
data from the
Those are
sensors,
maybe
and
multiple
it goes
network
to the embedded
topologies.
system. Embedded
Uh,
system is nothing,
First
it's an
kind of
electronic based
star
device,
topology.
right?
We
Where we
all know about this
use
basic what kind of
microprocessor and
star
microcontroller
topology
based
is,
device,
and
which
then mesh
can be programmable also, right?
topology,
And
and then
which takes the data and process into this system, and then send it to the cloud based system. And before this,
hello,
and
hello,
in
okay,
between
hello.
embedded
Am I
Yes,
audible?
sir.
system and cloud
Okay,
system.
Yes,
okay.
sir. Clearly,
Embedded
sir.
system is a hardware,
Okay.
and cloud
Star
system
topology.
is a
We are discussing
application where
about
we
the
are
star
storing our
topology.
data for sharing,
All
for storing,
IoT
for
devices are
analyzing,
connected
for
to central hub or
controlling.
gateway
All of
devices.
things
The hub
can be
acts on
done
a
with this cloud,
central point.
right?
We are
And in
indicating that
between, there
dark
is
point is
two
the
types of
central point
things we
and
have
light
already
points are
seen, that there is
low connected points
kind of
which have not a more control.
a local
Center point
networking
dark which is
system,
more
and there there is
connected and more control. The
a fog computing is also there,
advantages of this
right?
topology
So
is
this is
that
a
it is
local
easy
computing
to
system.
set up and manage, but it can less capable for the scale and number of devices. We cannot increase number of devices so that load cannot be distributed in a several ways. So
So here
less
is edge
topology is there.
devices are there. Here is
IoT
edge
devices
devices.
is can connect with the multiple devices using the forming a mesh network. This allows to reduce the path
And here is
communication, which
fog
can be
computing,
improve reliability
right?
and the
So fog is what we have
scalability of the
already done
network.
yesterday.
Like
That
star
if we
topology
need
has
to
some
compute
issues.
our data
We can
before the
use
cloud,
mesh
because the
topology
cloud
to
is
overcome
a
those
very
problems.
kind of a rented
This is another way.
memory, but
There may
we
be
don't
a
want
number of
to
topologies
store
like burst
a kind
topologies,
of
ring
constant
topologies.
data
We
into it,
understand
because
those on
if it is
in a
of
basic
no sense,
network
then we
like
cannot store
hybrid
there,
topology.
right? So for
With
that we
all
use
these
fog
kind of
computing,
network
right?
topology,
So
we
fog
can construct
computing is
uh,
in between
whatever
embedded
we need
system and
kind of
cloud,
IoT kind
and
of
there will be
device.
edge devices
So this
which is
is a
actually
basic
taking
network
the
understanding
data
of the
from your
topology.
side,
We
from
have
the
to know
sensor
about the
side to the
details.
embedded
Then
system
gateways.
devices. It's
Once
taking the data,
we
real
connect
time data,
device with the
which is
physical
coming from
layer,
sensor to embedded
uh,
system, and then
one
it goes to
temperature
the
sensor, we
edge
make it
devices
smart
of
with some
like
controller and
routers, hubs,
connect
and
it to the
switches,
network. Then
right? And
responsibility
then
comes with the
go to
network
the
is
fog for
create
computing,
a
and if it
gateway
is
for that
necessary to send the
sensor
data to the
which
cloud,
can
it
communicate
will
with the
immediately send it
upper
to the
application layer
cloud,
or cloud
right?
or
So
maybe
this is what we have done. We can
upper layer
directly send the data to the cloud, and
there are
cloud also,
IoT
and
there are
by
seven upper
fog
layers in the
also we
IoT.
can,
So we are talking about just
by
three
fog
of
nodes we
bottom.
can also send our
Upper
data,
four layers are uh, like uh, I, like me maybe in
right? So
IT case
these are
we
the
are
both
just
way
doing
we can apply.
40 case.
So what was
So
the advantage of fog?
gateways
We
and
have
devices
already
are
discussed yesterday,
used to connect
right?
IoT
And in
devices
edge
with the internet.
devices, there
They
are
can
some
act
kind
like
of
a bridge
routers
between
has
the
been used,
device and
and
network
that
and provide
routers has a
functional
special
search on a
uh,
protocol,
problems
translation
that
like
each and
data
every routers
aggregation
has
and
to be
security management. In
connected
many cases,
to each
gateways
other,
are
and
used
they have own
in
decision making systems,
IoT networks
right?
and enable
And that
communication
we
between
have
devices that
made a
use different
centralized system
communication
which
protocols,
were called
have different
SDN,
data formats.
right? So
We know that
yesterday we
we are
have
using different data
also
formats. You like
discussed about
uh,
SDN, where
MQTT
that
and
is
HTTP.
implemented with the
These
edge
all
devices,
are different data type
right?
format to connect with the gateways. Then
So it's a local
backward
networking
network,
system where we can
on the
apply
other
this.
hand, refers to
So
the part of the
computing is
network
different
that
thing, as
connect
devices
the
is different
gateways
thing,
to
right?
the cloud
Edge
or
devices
data
is
center.
only to
It is
gathering
the
the data and
network
taking a smart
infrastructure that
decision
is
for their
used to
paths.
transmit the
Fog is
data,
for
collect
computing,
from the
means it is
IoT to
analyzing
the
the data.
cloud
It's a
processing, storage,
computation
and
basically,
analysis.
where the data is
That
being
whole
taken
network
and
is
analyzed
typically a high
regularly,
bandwidth
so
network
that
that can
you will
handle
get
large
a
amount of
particular
data.
information from
So
there,
as
that
we
from that data,
discussed,
right?
black
And
hole is
here
what
we have
uh,
seen about the
it's new for collecting
SDN
number of
technology
devices.
that
It's
can
not
make
traditional
your
kind of network.
decision making
It's
system of
very
the
important.
routers centralized.
So gateway is playing very
So these
important
are
role again,
basically
and
the block
additionally, backward
this is
network
the
is
block diagram
creating
that we
IoT kind
have
of structure to
uh,
handle multiple
done
kind of
yesterday,
devices.
right?
So
And from
this
today we are
this
going to
gateway
start
and black holes
the
is very
security
important.
issues
So protocol
happens with
transmission,
this
data aggregation,
all
and
the
security
technologies,
management
because
is the key role
IoT is
of this
not a
gateway.
single technology
Then
we
next
are
is
working with,
your
right? So there are a lot of
network transportation
technologies is
subnet.
involved into it. So that's why we need to have some kind of
In this
problem.
layer,
We need to have some
we our
knowledge
objective is
that
to convey all data on
is
the
actually existing with
network layer
this,
with the transportation system.
working,
So
right?
we use
So
here
there's
management
every
sublayers like
in every
IP,
corner of
TCP, and UDP
IoTs, there are
bring
different
connectivity to IoT
technologies are there,
network. Upper
different
layer
languages are
protocols and
there,
need to be
different
share the
protocols are
data.
there, right? So
So it's
if there are
the
different
transmission
protocols,
between
they
the
have their
smart
own
devices
limitations, they
and
have
other
their
systems
own
protocols, like
protocols,
multiple
and
protocols we use
challenges are
where
they
large
are
number
facing.
of data
And
and
if they are
devices can be
merging with
handled.
the different technologies, they could have major problems with them. So we are going to discussing the same thing which happens with these technologies, right? So let's say
So we
starting
use their
from
protocols, some like
IoT
TCP
securities,
and UDP.
what is it
So
and why we are
HTML and
basically
MQTT
concerning
and uh,
about this
COP.
security
These
and
are
privacy.
the main resources where we
So let's say
discuss the transfer
by
of data with the
2026, almost
these
half of
protocols.
the US
Uh, in a traditional
households
way,
will
we use
use smart
HDP.
home devices,
So
right?
HDP
So
is not
even India
capable
is
to
also
handle
not that.
low kind
It
of
is also
devices.
using,
Low.
there are
It has
lots of
no
companies, there are
low
lots of
memory structure and
societies are
low
using this kind of
bandwidth.
things where
So it cannot handle
houses
the
are
number of
basically
devices based on
enhanced
IoT.
with
So HDP
IoT
has
technology,
some
right?
issues with
But
their
the increase in the
protocol.
connected
So that's
devices
why
give hackers and
new
cyber
innovation with the
criminals more
MPTU term,
entries point,
WebSockets
right? So obviously,
is
if the
obtained
data is
combined with
been
the other
taken with the
protocols
virtual world,
such as
so if anybody
MQTT and
has to
handles the IoT
uh,
specification
uh,
parts, the
take your data,
communications.
steal your data,
So that's why
right? So they
MQTT is
can steal
important
it
over the
in a various ways
HTML.
because
And
there are various
next
ways
is
of
again more
hacking
advanced
all those systems,
construction of
right? So as
this
we are
protocol
going
is
to
because
start the
HTTP is not capable.
apply the
So they
securities,
have
there
constructed
are
this
also have the
to
different ways
overcome the
to hack the
problems of
systems,
HTTP, and
right?
it is
And
constructing a
hacking is not actually the
lower
system
bandwidth
hacking. You are not
environment, lower
hacking the
management,
system.
lower memory space
Actually,
required, lower
uh,
bandwidth is required with
hackers
this uh,
hacks the
new
network, not
protocol.
the
So
system. Basically,
these all are
they are
the
taking out the data from the networks, right?
network
So if the
supported
data is on the
restricted
virtual
protocols. So
world,
we have to
it
go
means it
towards
is on the
fog
network
layer.
only, right? It is somewhere.
See,
So
uh,
regularly
in
it has been
this
traveling with
image,
some path,
in the left
and
hand
by
side,
that path
we
it
have
is easy to take out
traditional
from that data because
traditional
system is secure, the
flow of
server is
data
secure, the
from
cloud is
the
secure, but the
physical
network
layer to
is not
network layer
actually
to
secure.
application
That
layer.
is
In
why
the right hand
we
side, we
used
are
to
looking for the
somehow
advanced diagram where
implement
we are
SDN
connecting
so that it will be
physical
secure
layer with
and it
the
will be,
fog
you
layer
know,
and then data center
it will
and
be
then
centralized system
application
that
layer.
is actually a
So in
software,
the
right? So
fog
software
layer, we
could
are
be
going to
secure, a system could be
introduce
secure,
new
but a network
concept
path could not
where
be,
data analysis
right?
and big data
So the
handling can be possible. The fog
Internet of
layer is
Things is
distributed
connecting
communities
more devices every day, and
architecture
we are
that is
heading for
designed
a
to
world that we have 64
extend
billion
cloud
IoT devices
computing
by
capability
2025.
to the edge of the network. The fog layer
But the
is
increase in
something
connected
also
devices, okay,
responsible for
fine.
the
This growth
edge devices.
carries
So edge
several
devices
benefits
can
as it
collect
will
data
change the
and
way
transfer
people
to
carry
the
out everyday tasks and
fog layer.
potentially
So fog
transfer
layer can
transform
uh,
the world.
collect
But
all
having
that
a
data
smart home
and
may
it can
not only
nullify
free
the
up time but
error
pay off
data
the
and it
long
can
haul. So
identify
smart
the
lighting, for example,
important
can
data
actually
through
reduce
the
overall
garbage
energy
data
consumption and
and
lower
it
your
can
electricity bill. This is the
analyze through the
advantage.
several algorithms
There are
and it
several
can
scenarios in IoT
sort out
applications are commonly
important
used
data and
with
it can send to the
include
big data
mobility,
centers so where
transportation,
the data can be
smart
stored
homes,
very
smart
smoothly.
engineering or manufacturing method, smart energy grids and networks.
Basically,
So there are lots of
the important structure
sectors
of
we can use
IoT
IoT.
is
IoT
with the
provides services
seven
in the
layer.
more efficient and
So this picture
effective
comes
and
with the
efficient
full
way.
diagram
Right.
of
However, there are
IoT
some
network,
critical factors that
and
they
the
come along
bottom
with the
layer, as we discussed,
advancement of
which is
technologies.
physical layer,
Some of the
and
factors are
this
nearly
second layer we
factor
called it
names are security,
connectivity
privacy,
layer.
and trust of the
Third
end users.
is your
So
controlling edge,
how
where we
I
can
will
consider
be
as a
confirmed
fog
or ensure
connectivity with
that
the data
the
centers.
system we
So
are using
these
is
three layers
actually a
comes with
secure system, because
operational
whenever
technology.
we
This
start
is
to
what
use
the
any
new
kind of
era we
systems,
can
like
understand that
if you start
information
to use
technology works with
WhatsApp
the upper
or
four
start to
layer
use
and the
even smartphones,
bottom
even
three layer are the
you are having
operational
some security
technologies
system at
where
your home,
now
so
the
you always ensure
research
that
terms
that is
should be
safe or
done.
not.
Then
Even your data
we
which
have
is
to discuss about the
over there
physical layer
of
first.
your data actually,
So where
so
we are connecting the
it is
physical
already
layer,
secured
we have to
or not.
control.
So
We have
this
to
is
make some
basically the
devices which is
responsibility
smart,
of that
connected with the
particular
controller
company who is
devices,
giving you
and
that kind of
maybe
security,
there are some
right?
actuators
Whom
which
you
is
are paying to.
connected with those
But
smart kind of
it
devices.
is
You can
it is
compute them
actually they
with
are
the some
giving you some agreement that yes,
physical
I
network.
am securing
Maybe
your data,
it may
right?
be a
It's a
wireless
mutual
network.
agreement.
It may be a
But
wired network, but it
sometimes
should connect with
it
some
is
network so
not
that
that
they
you
can
are basically
provide
thinking,
all
you are not
connectivity with
predicting
the
actually that yes,
next layer. We called it
you have
network
faith
layer.
on that kind of
Then
system that yes, they are
this is
they
what the
are
second we
basically
called it network
uh,
layer,
securing your
where
data.
we are
But
providing
in a recent
number of
ways,
components like
you
communicating
can
between
see
the
the
layers
previous
and devices.
news that
So it is providing us
WhatsApp was
opportunity
also in a
to make
in a
connections
legal terms.
using some
Mm,
protocols
they
and
have a problem with their
networks,
data that they are
gateways. So
somebody has
it's
claimed
very
that
important.
WhatsApp has sent
Uh,
their data to the
it's a very
different
important
companies,
part to connect
right?
with
They
the
have
devices
sell them,
and the upper
right?
edge.
So
So next
we we
in
have
edge
actually
computing
given the
where
data to them and they are selling it,
edge
right?
computing layer
It
is
was,
new
it could be true,
new layer
it could
where
not be,
data
may not
packets
be true,
are
but the
processed
problem is
in this
how do
IoT
you
architecture refers to
ensuring
the
that yes,
computing
your
devices
data
that
is
sit
not,
between
because
the devices
this is
and the
not your
sensors
only
and they
phone
collect
number
data
and not
between
your
the
only
network
email ID.
and the
Now what we are doing, we are
cloud.
just giving the
So
phone
in
number,
order
email
to
ID,
minimize
and
the
some chats
latency
over
of
there.
the network,
But
it is very
in IoT
important to
system, there
understand
are
the edge
everything they
computing
can
layer.
monitor,
Several
and everything
important
they
function
can
in the IoT
uh,
architecture.
take from your
First, it
side.
allows
Every
to
data,
local
right? Your daily
processing of
routines,
data
your
and the
camera
stage of the network
access,
reduce the amount
right?
of data that needs to be
Your
sent to the cloud
home
for processing. This
appliances,
can be
right?
help to
Home
reduce the
appliances data,
network
lots of things, right?
connections and
Everything means you
low
are
data
giving your
transparency. In
life to
addition
them,
to this,
right? So they
edge
can have
computing
all
layer
the
can
information
provide
of yours, they can
real-time
alter
data
them also.
analysis and
If
design
there is a
making
problem
capabilities, allow
in
to
them, so they can
rapid
alter them
responsibility
also,
challenges conditions.
right? So
In
you
this
have, let's say
particular
you have set
importance
your
in
alarm
application like
at 7 a.m.
industrial
and you
automation,
want
where
to,
delays
wake up
are
at 7 a.m.,
distributed in
and
data
that is
processing,
stored in
can
your
be
cloud,
having
right? You
serious
have stored that
consequences.
in your
The
cloud because it's
uh,
IoT
edge
system. So
computing
it will
layer
be
may be also
stored, or
included
somebody want to steal that
specialized
data and can alter
hardware
that.
and software
If you have
components.
some meeting at
So
7 a.m. and
it's
somebody has
very these
changed
three
the
parts of
value
the
from 7 to
main
11,
IoT network
so you'll
is
wake up at
important.
11,
Physical devices.
right? That
Second
is a
is
kind of
network, and third is
theft.
network computing.
This is a very
So
simple issue.
we have to come on
So
the
that is not
challenges
a
part
issue
where we
that
have
we'll
to
have to
understand
worry
about
about.
the new
We
era
must have to
challenges.
worry
There
about
are
it
several
because
challenges
the lots of
associated with
things
the
can be altered if the
implementation
data
of
has been theft,
IoT systems. Here
right?
are
So the
some
major
key
challenges
challenges
with
we
this
have discussed here.
is obviously the
With that,
security, the
security is the
privacy,
major
whatever the
aspect.
data we has been
IoT
given, it should
devices
not
are
be
often
given to
connected
the
to
other
the
people
internet
also, other
and
companies
can
also,
be
and the
uh,
trust, right? So
easily
we should
uh,
the
easily
trust
penetrate,
of
easily made by cyber
applications,
attacks.
not
Ensure that the
person to
security
person.
of the system
It
is
could be
critical.
machine to
Challenges,
machine
particular
trust
given
also.
to
It
the
could be
potential for these attacks,
software
having
application to
severe
application trust
consequences. We
also,
know that
right?
these
Because
mobiles are connected with
trust of
nowadays
not only
with the all
people is
networks,
there,
and
there is a
we are
trust
really
of
facing the
software
problems of
also. If
cyber
any
attacks. And
software, if
now in
any
the future, we
application has
are
been
connecting all things.
taking
So
your data,
those things
how
are
do it
maybe
trust to
controlled
the
with the
another
other hackers.
software that
So
it
it's
will
very
take your
difficult.
data?
In the last
Let's say I am a
scenario,
company,
we have
and
seen
I,
that
if I am a company,
in
so
the
I have
Russia
taken
and
your data, let's say,
Ukraine
right? I have
war,
an application
that
that I have given you, you have
most of
sent
the
all your data to
anonymous
that
peoples have
application, but how do I trust
all
to the
the
another
important
software
documents of
if it
the
is
Russian space
concerning that
agencies
your
are
data should be in the
on
cloud,
ground.
not from my
So
side. Each and
it's
everything
very
can be
difficult
done with
to
the
manage
IoT,
this kind
right?
of
So there
security
could be
threats for the
lots of
any
companies could
entire
be
country.
involved, the networking companies, the
So
cloud
this is very
companies,
important to handle
analysis
with the every
companies, right?
devices.
So machine learning, AI
And next is
companies,
our
your data
privacy. So
data
there are
gathering companies,
every device
right?
which
The
comes with
sensor
some
companies are
special
there. There are
privacy
lots of
kind of systems.
companies are
We know that
involved
our mobiles
into
are
it. So
very
if the lots
specialized
of companies
device.
are involved, I'm
It's
taking data.
very personal,
I'm
so we have
ensuring
to
you that
keep the
yes,
privacy of
because
our
I have an
data
agreement with you
in the
that
format
I'll not
of
give
encryptions,
your data
and
to anybody,
uh,
right?
we
So
have
your
to
data
ensure
will be
that our
private to
data
us.
is
But
processing with the some
how do I
encryption
ensure
which is
that
very
somebody
strong. It
else
cannot
which I'm
break with the
agreementing has
easy
will
kind of
not do that kind of
decryption
thing? So
technique.
that
So
is
that's
the
why
trust
privacy
of
in the IoT kind of
applications or
systems is very
companies
important.
which are
And the data
working
management,
along
we
that
have to go
things.
with the
Right? So this
several
is
challenges
a
like
problem with it,
billions
right?
and billions
Sometimes it
devices
happens
are connecting
very right way,
over the
sometimes
internet.
not,
So all
because
devices
in
are
ideal
sending the
situation
data,
it
and
will
that
help
data should be
to use
processed
all
with
these things in a very
critical kind of
uniform
algorithm which
way,
can
but
reduce
always it will not
the
give
size
you the
of
same
the data.
way. That
And
could be
we have to
not
even
uniform,
ensure the
because
encryption
if
techniques
somebody
to
has to
manage
steal
the
your
data.
data,
So this
they
is
can
again the
have,
challenging
they
task
may have
to manage
a very large
data
company, but
in the
they
next
can
few
have
years.
do that kind of things. Like
Energy efficient
you can see
devices,
that some users
energy efficient
at
devices,
UI
that means
in
there is
US
again
is
challenges
stealing
for
their
the
data,
physical layer and
their people's data, their
network layer,
company's
where
data.
we have
In
to
America,
construct
they
devices
have,
who works
you
on a
know,
low energy,
claim legal
low
issues over
compatible,
there that
and
UI is
it should connected
working
with
like
the
for stealing
internet
their
all the
data
time,
in the
and
US system.
it
So
should not
that is
drain
what
battery all
happening
the time. So
all around the
we we have to
not
construct such a
in
kind of
US, not
devices
in
which
UK,
can
in
operate on a
each and
low
every corner of in this world.
protocol based, low
So
energy efficient
the
base.
problem is,
So it is very
how do we
challenging task
build a
again.
trust of
Then
these things? Because
scalability.
there are
We
lots of
know that
things
in the
happening
next few
in
years,
IoT. Lots
right
of
now we are in a
companies are
millions of
involved.
devices
Right.
connected over the
So
internet.
let's take an
Within
example
next
of
10 years, we have to go for
first
the
of all
billions
the
of devices.
traditional
So
and
scalability
internet
of this
and
system is
internet
going
of
to be
things. So
enhanced,
traditional
and
internet
how
is
the
basically
traditional
that
network
kind
is
of
going to handle this kind of
internet where
integrity.
we
So it
are
is
putting
very important factor. We
information
have to create such a
which
new kind
is
of
written by
system to
human
handle
itself. Right,
billions and
we as
billions
a
of
human
devices.
have some
So
information, have some,
again,
let's say
we
I
have to
have
define
some
some
article
standard
to write,
for the
so I have
particular
written
network.
an article.
So IoT
Right,
domain itself
it's a
have some
non-real time
standards, but
based
uh, as
system
we go
where
for
I'm
the
writing something.
protocols
I have
that
to
are
write a book,
universally
I have to
accepted,
write an
we have to
article of
go for
any,
the
I have to write a blog,
standards
I have to write
difficulty
some
to
information.
can solve
Right, I have to
in the
sell
next
some
few years.
products, I have something
So I hope
which is not
my
real
this
time basically,
presentation goes
but
for the
that
uh, uh,
internet will help to
something
store
beneficial
those
for
data and
the
share those
new
data to
introductory students.
different
So
clients.
I hope if
Right.
you have any
So
query, you can ask me.
we are living in an age of internet, and internet we have started in 1990s around. We have started from there, and after 1990s we have changed all this system from non-real time systems to the real time system with the IoT. Right. So the transformation between
Participants,
traditional internet and Internet of Things is absence
please
of
ask the
human role.
question,
This is
if
the only
any.
difference. That we are not into the Internet of Things. We have somewhere replaced our presence with the sensors, right? In Internet of Things, and the services facilities provided by the application or devices used in the Internet of Things offers an effective and efficient benefit
So
to the human life. The word Internet of Things is considered to
Hello,
be the
sir.
single word now, which
okay,
gives an impression of
Rajesh, sir.
connecting
Sir.
different physical devices
At,
of
at one
different
time, how
standard for
many
all around the
nodes
world in the
we
internet.
can connect
The
using
area
IoT?
where we use it,
okay.
if
And
we are looking at
how to
traditional
secure, how
internet,
to
if we
keep
go for the
security,
Internet of
maintain
Things,
security for it.
if we have content, a
Okay,
human creates
it's
the content.
depend on the
Right,
network what you are
in
using.
traditional internet,
There are
we as a
several kind of
human
network which
we create the
providing
content.
you
What should we
multiple
do in the internet?
for the
Right, what kind of information we do
introductory.
have, that
We
we
can
write
uh,
itself.
like
We
think
make a
speak kind of
blog, we
network
make a
which
video,
provides
we
us
make a audio, we make
multiple
some
devices to
written
be connected
documents,
with the
and
cloud.
then apply
And for the
and then put
security,
it
we have
into
to
the
again. I
internet,
said that
right, on the server.
it's very challenging
Internet of
task to
Things,
discuss about
machine creates content.
number of
We are not. We are
encryption techniques
only
we
the
have to
medium,
involve into
right?
our
But the
protocols
actual
so your
source and
data can be
destination is
secured.
from machine to
Generally, we
machine,
have a
right?
number of open network protocol
Content
like HTTP
consumed,
and
and the
MPLS.
content consumed
So
is by generating requests,
it's
by
common
triggering
protocol
action
which
and
can
pushing
be easily break.
information in
So you have
Internet
to
of Things.
construct your own
If we
techniques
are
to
generating some request,
encrypt
let's say
your
I have
data
I
and
have
secure.
some I need to fetch some
Okay,
information
sir.
from the
Thank
internet.
you,
I
sir.
just write
Sir,
it down.
one
Let's say
of
I have to
the
buy a cloth, I
enthusiast
have to
participant is
buy
asking,
something, I have to buy
Mr.
books.
Abhijit is
So
asking
I'll generate
whether
a request,
you will
right? So
suggest any
human generate
research group
request
working in
for
this area,
using that
any research group working in
content,
this area.
right? That
Uh,
content is
yes,
consumed by
sir.
human
Actually,
itself,
there are
but
a number of
and
research
generating by
area
human itself.
people are
And
working. Right now, we are working on a
Internet of Things,
IoT-based
the
weather
content
monitoring
is
system where
generating from the
we are
sensors,
discussing about the
means
government
by
to set up
triggering some actions.
a
It is
micro
not with the
weather
request,
monitoring system
right? So
to
it is
every
not
ruler so
on the
that we
request,
can
it is a
identify
pushing
the
information and
uh,
triggering
uh,
action from any
like
kind of sources
problem
we have
where the
left over
floods
there.
can come, and then
Content
government
combined,
or collector office
so using
is
links
don't know about the
explicitly,
weather
we
situations of
combine the link,
that
like
ground
we are
level research. So
redirecting
we have to
these
construct
all,
a very efficient
from
device
one
in the
website.
weather
If
monitoring,
somewhere
so
we'll
it
have to
can
put the
provide a
request,
future data
and
for
if
the
it is
all
not there,
rural
it'll
areas.
go to the another resource
Yes,
for
sir. And
you,
how
so
many
that you
groups are
get
there
your
in
data,
India who are
right? But here
dedicatedly
using
working
operators, there are different
Basically
operators
on
who are
particularly
a
on
using for
IoT
content
and
combined,
cloud
right?
with together?
uh,
And data
Uh,
generate with
basically,
the help
in
of
the
peoples,
our region, we
generate with
are
the help of
working with the
sensors,
some
efficient,
research
increase
and
and covers
PhD
internet
holders who is
efficiency,
constructing this
right?
weather
And
monitoring
add
device for
intelligence to
the
the procedure. So
Jalgaon
if
government.
you want to
Hmm.
make Internet of Things
Okay.
more efficient,
Thank
then
you,
we'll
sir.
have to apply the
Okay.
intelligence factor.
Participants,
Right? This is the only way.
Please ask the question.
Security plays an important role in terms of
Question is
usability, efficiency, and reliability of IoT. So the need of privacy is the core property of self-actualization in IoT. So privacy is of course very key role. It's a playing a key role, as we have already discussed. If we are giving data, so we
okay.
need privacy. We
So
need
ma'am,
that kind of
Monalisa ma'am,
security of that data,
Yes, yes.
that
please.
So
somebody
as there
else
is
will
no
not use
questions
it
ahead,
for their purposes.
we'll
There are
end this
several
session with a
applications
vote of
working in
thanks.
many
So
different
thank
grounds
you
like
so
patient
much,
monitoring
Rajesh
system,
Thakre
traffic
sir,
control,
for
energy
your
consumption,
valuable
inventory
informative
management, smart
inputs.
parking,
We will
and
surely
many
consider
others.
this
There,
information
these
and
are
I
the
hope
application
all
where
the
IoT
participants will be
works,
benefited by
right?
it. Thank
And
you, sir. Thank you for
privacy should be
joining us.
guaranteed to the end user. After the
Thank you very
security,
much, sir.
the main
Yes.
aspect occurs
Yeah.
is the
So I request
privacy,
Thank
all
you.
the
and with privacy there
participants
is a
to
trust,
have 5 to 10
right?
minutes
So
break and we will
first
start another
you need
session
to
by Mr.
secure your
Ritesh
data.
Kumar
Then
at
if it is
11 a.m.
secure, so it is
So we'll
private or
have a
not.
short break
And
of
if it
five
is
minutes.
private,
Yes,
then
Vijay sir?
how do they trust
Yes,
each
yes,
other?
5 minutes, ma'am. And
According to the Internet of Things, trust is also
please
an
share the
important
feedback
aspect
link.
or a factor which is developed by
Yes.
the
Yes.
end user when there is an element of
Uh,
security and privacy in the
feedback link.
device. Now, privacy and trust, right? They are both different things, right? Privacy is a general privacy model for IoT enforcement mechanism, role-based systems, right? It is private or not. Trust negotiation mechanism, object identity management system.
Madam,
This is
I
trust
think
in IoT.
this
So
is the day two,
both will
session
help
4,
to
na?
make
Feedback link.
the
Yeah,
secure
day two.
system
I
of
don't know
IoT.
actually. Feedback is not in my
Okay. So IoT covers a
area.
large
Okay.
range of application
Yes, sir.
products
Day
and
two, session
technologies.
four.
For this reason, number of
Yes,
protocols
yes,
related
ma'am.
to the security for IoT are getting increased. So there are some kind of IoT protocols are there for making the
Uh,
uh, transaction of your data much secure, which is in the application. If you are going with the layers, layer by layers, there are some protocols is working for the security reasons. Right. So first, if you go for the application, starting from the application layer, so there are some protocols which is called COAP and MQTT. These are the two IoT protocols used. This is the security protocol. This is user defined, means whoever making this kind of programming, so they can define their own security. Interoperability, of course, it is interoperability. Interoperability means they can operate to the different softwares also, right? Manageability, they can manage, they can be administrated. And security, right? So all the points are yes, because of the protocols is so much secure. Second is transport layer security. In transport layer security there is UDP. Hey, this is also a protocol for transport layer, and the security protocol name is DTLS, right? This is transport layer security. DTLS is a protocol name, security protocol name, and this is also interoperability. We actually use this. It is not. It is working with all of the transport layer that we are using nowadays with our computers and all. So yeah, this is TLS system, which is transport layer security system, which this protocol is applied with all of the with us. And the manageability is also there, the interoperability is also there, and security system is also there. Third is network layer. Network layer, in network layer, we generally use IPv6, IPv Internet Protocol version, which is 6, and RPL. Normally, we use in the local system IPv4, but in the public system, we generally use IPv6, right? And there is a protocol which is IP6 RPL security. This is security protocols in this network systems. And interoperability, yes. Manageability is not yet, because you cannot a user from the user end, you cannot apply some kind of IPv6 protocols. You cannot manage them, right? It is managed automatically by some companies, right? So security is yes. W PAN system 6 low. Basically, this is the protocol system, and this is layer, and the security protocol is none. There is no any security protocol. And the last one is data link layer. IEEE 8015. This is wireless system. 802.15.4, right? So which is giving you the network protocol system here, and here is the security protocol is 802.15.4, right? And interoperability, yes, but the security is not there because this is the last edge you are connecting with your systems, right? Means when the system is connected with any LAN or WAN, so there is a data link layer, and here this is applying this security, this security protocol is applied. The security issues had some problems like identification, security issues in the Internet of Things. IoT can be divided into four major sections, right? So it could have identification problem. It is important to maintain and manage the identity in devices and application, right? So when an application is working with the IoTs, so the devices need to understand this application is trustable, right? Whenever, let's say, you are installing any application in your phone, in your computers, so they first check is there could not be any malware in that system, in that application, right? So if there is, it will not able to install that kind of thing because that is blocking that hardware is blocking that system. Your operating system has that kind of intelligence. It will first check whether your application is trustable or not. So it will check by the antiviruses and all. There are various ways to check without any malware system you are installing your softwares, right? So the application or devices have a trustable issues. The application should be identified with the devices that yes, there is no problem, you can use it very well in your devices. So identification can be either M2M or H2M, right? Identification is M2M, machine to machine. If any machine is working with another machine, there could be also a identification problem, right? So a machine has to be identified with another machine, which is all together working for the IoT purposes. And in H2M, where human is working with machines. In both the ways, it should be manageable and maintained in order to keep your all security aspects, right? It could be manageable, right? Because in machine to machine, we can have different protocols to make them secure, and they can identify it very well, right? So which machines I need to, they need to work with, right? And second, the human. Of course, human has a different ways of identification. There are logins, there are login system, there are various two-way verification, three-way verifications. There are lots of securities systems applied with this applications. Then authentication. Come to the authentication. It is one of the major issue in IoT to make synchronization, maintain data authentication, especially when the area is big, right? Next is data management. Data is a major factor for IoT. So as with the advancement of device, the application data from different standards of object are used, right? Of course, the data is coming from different application going to the different applications, right? There are APIs used, as we have discussed yesterday, that there are some APIs also involved into it to making it travel from one application to the another application. So their format could be different, their standard could be different. Right? There are several techniques that can be utilized for identification of the object in the Internet of Things. Some of them are vision based, like object identification. Vision based means by camera you can take a visual that what kind of objects you do have. Let's say I have I want to recognize you. I want to I can have your picture with you. So I can easily install my camera with my computers and take your pictures, and I can talk to you whether you are the same person or not. So I can trust you with the security, right? But every time this is not possible to take a visuals into it, but we can do it, right? Barcode recognition and identifications are there. So there are lots of ways for the object identification. some barcode recognition, right? Some identification techniques would be there for the data management, right? So it can build a security level. Next is heterogeneity. Heterogeneity, Internet of Things is a kind of emerging technology which allows all sort of objects and devices to connect with each other, which bring issues regarding the security. Heterogeneity means different, right? So all the things are in the working in the different ways. That's why it is heterogeneity, right? So these are the things. Authentication is have a solution that handshaking of algorithms and pre-shared keys for low power availability. So if we want to make this kind of system very secure, what we need to do is handshaking of algorithms. Whatever the algorithm we are using, whatever the processes we are using, they should have their predefined keys to handshake them, right? For low power availability, RFID plays the main part in the recognition and identification of entities. Second is identification, considering their physical addresses and by the use of IPv6, right? So these are the identification we can use in the network identification. And next is data management. So database softwares will take a pivotal role into this. And then heterogeneity, which is architecture known as IDRA, must be used intended to participate in all the devices. RDRA is basically an architecture which is made on the base of network, and the software systems, whether how we can apply APIs work with the different programming languages, different protocols are there, and how do we make it? It's a kind of architecture which is been made, right? So IDRA can attach objects directly without any gateway. It covers backward compatibility and request fewer properties. Right. So we need to make this system a different way. It is not the same way that we are using nowadays, like more of the systems, because the uh, the system now we are using is different. It is a kind of a different ways, because there is less security, because there are less kind of data you are using here. But when we implement that IoT systems, there will be a large amount of data, and then security must. So we need to apply a different level of or a different kind of softwares into it. So software is very must for combining all these systems. Privacy issues in the Internet of Things, many devices are connected together, working together in both public and private domain. So there is a tiny or small differences among securities and privacy. Most security avoid to exchange their and process the personal information. Some of the time, most of the softwares, they not allow to store or exchange the personal information, right? So that is also a problem with the softwares and applications. Security constraints are mainly confidently authentication and integrity. The privacy typically defines a verifiability, transparency, and right purposes. Right? Security is basically for authentication, confident, and integrity. But privacy makes basically verified, right? So the verified person is using or not, a transparency is there or not, or for the right purpose it is going to be used or not, right? And privacy is important to identify the authorized end user, right? So whoever the end user, they need a privacy identification, user privacy, access control to do secure communication, resilience to attack, and the most important to build the trust level between the devices and application and the end users. What is the trust issue? Trust issue is developed when there are security and privacy in the object or entity. So trust is very multifaceted concept that is influenced by many measurable and non-measurable belongings or parameters. So it is associated with the security, user safety in different facets of the entity. So trust covers a big area as compared to the security, right? And trust privacy. Thus, it is not much as easy to build and accomplish the trust factor. So another important concept connect to trust is privacy. That is capability of an object to control whether, when, and to whom information about itself is to be released. right? So these are the challenges we are facing while working with IoT, right? So IoT is advanced in new era topic. The concept of IoT is these are the challenges, MS topic connecting billions of things together with full efficiency and usability. To manage such big data, heterogeneous network environment and secure information communication technology is really big challenges. Okay, let's okay. So what we can do actually, what we have plans for that. So I'm only giving you the plans, but what kind of things we can follow to make the IoT system secure and private. So there could be different certifications are there, right? Certified with highest grade for security, right? So all the data is transported using TLS. TLS, transport layer security, which has SSL security protocols are there, SSL labs, right? And there is a IOC protocols, means we need to follow a different type of protocols. Not, we don't have to make the system without protocols, because protocols make you some kind of, you know, a uniform way of working. Secondly, it will give you some standardization. Third, it will give you some security protocols also. So there are lots of things when you apply any certified kind of thing, like ISO, International Standard Organization will give some kind of protocol to manage all the data with the secure systems. So you can apply when you're applying any IoT systems or making some kind of IoT system. Second is security philosophy and commitment. So there are some different softwares which is made for this commitment, that yes, these are the basically that companies which makes the agreement for your security, and if anything happens with any of the data, they'll give you the penalty or anything else. They make some agreement of this. Third is secure API. Whenever we used to apply some kind of APIs with the applications, we need to have we need to ensure that yes, these APIs are secure and these are working well with this. Right? Next, physical security. So physical security include unauthorized access of IoT device, for example, to direct or manipulate data from devices, read credentials, that there are credential is must from the device, or change devices configuration. Architecture should also monitor to report secure incident such as activation of temper devices, which may indicate an attempt to subjugate a device. Right. So you'll have to authenticate at the physical security, right? And then next is network security. It has HTTPS. When you apply any, any network, you'll have to send your data within any networks. Then you'll have to apply in HTTP. Let's say we are using the HTTP protocols to send our data from your particular application or particular device to the cloud. Then you need to apply HTTPS at the network system, right? Normally we do HTTP, right? And in the secure point, we can use HTTPS, very secure HTTP protocol, basically. And then application security. For the application security, will can use a kind of different APIs which have a security system itself, right? So there are some protocols which is HTTP, MQTT, right? Sorry, MQTT, and they have a secure TLS basically, right? Next, access controls. So here, whoever the user groups and the authorities who are using this, they have their own authentication or administration for using for accessing the applications. Next is native multi-tenancy. IoT should have native multi-tenancy, which means single instance of any that can securely serve multiple enterprises. Right? There is a native multiple tenancy. Means there is a single instance which are basically centralized system. You can say it is a centralized system without placing a data at risk of compromises. We can apply kind of a separating data for at least two levels security system would be of two levels, means authorizations will be of two levels, right? Like an example, an industrial machine manufacturer would have its data fully isolated from its competitor, but also offers 100% separation of customers also, right? That uses its machines. So all the data on the IoT should be isolated and protected. Extensible security model, certified hosting partners, handling of security events, right? So these are basically the way we can make our system secure, right? The challenges, what we have, the challenges when we apply this kind of systems, this kind of IoT system. So this is the challenges, and the privacy system we can make, and the security system we can make with the IoTs, right? So I think this is clear to all. If anything which you don't understand and which you want in another level, you can ask me. And we have already discussed about the last classes, that what last sessions, what we have done yesterday. If you have any kind of problems, any kind of queries or questions from the last session, also you can ask me. Yes, please.
Yes. Any queries? Anybody has any questions? Okay. So, sir, I think we will stop this session as of now, and we'll continue the session after the lunch break. So I request everyone to have a 45 minutes lunch break, and we'll start the next session by 12:45. Okay. So thank you so much, Ritesh Kumar sir, for this session, for your informative inputs. This will surely help all our participants.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.